Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. Thank you for stopping by and watching our previous video. This time, we're going to show you the best Netorare Anime Ever Part 2. But before that, let me remind you to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell for my videos. Here's a feed of the best Netorare Anime Ever Part 2 you can watch in your leisure time. Happy watching! Number 10. Yusuga no Sora. Yusuga no Sora was originally a Japanese romance drama adult visual novel developed by Coves of Sphere. The game was originally released for Windows in December 2008. The franchise was adapted into a manga series and a television anime series. A sequel of Fundisk titled Hurricane Azura was released later in October 2009, which contains new and expanded scenario for several characters from the original game. The series follows orphans who tragically lost their parents to the car accident. Both of them travel to a countryside, a place where they spend their childhood, and hope to find peace after grieving enough. Uncertain of the future, Haruka Kasugano clings to memories of the past, hoping to find the strength he needs to protect his ailing sister. As the story develops, the secrets of the dark past are slowly revealed. Number 9. Orange. Orange is adapted from a Japanese romance manga series written and illustrated by Ichigo Takeno, aimed at the shoujo and seinen demographics. The manga was released in 2012 in Basatsu Margaret Manga Magazine and later in Monthly Action. In March 2016, a spin-off of the manga began serialization in the Monthly Action magazine published by Futabasha. The story begins with a girl named Naho Takamiya, where she is the second year of a high school student as she receives letters sent from herself 10 years into the future. Her future self asks her not to have anything to do with a new transfer student. Although at first, Nao is skeptical and doesn't believe it, but she slowly starts to believe it. Number 8. Love and Lies. Love and Lies, or Kyoto Uso in Japanese, is adapted from a Japanese manga by Musawa Sumeki, which was published by Odansha, released online by Dana's Manga Books app in multiple languages. In summer 2017, a television series adaptation was released and produced by Lion Films with 12 episodes in total. The series follows a young teenager who claims to have a crush with a girl for a long time, despite the fact that he has been determined to have a fiancé by the government in an alternate version of modern Japan, where children have turned 16 years old are assigned by the government to a partner based on compatibility calculation in order to increase the country's birth rate. Those who do not marry their assigned partner suffer severe penalties. The story follows the adventures of the teens as they try to relate with one another while keeping up appearances with the government. Number 7. True Tears. True Tears is a Japanese anime television series produced by PLX and directed by Junji Nishimura. The series shares almost nothing in common with a visual novel of the same name that preceded it, using an entirely different story with different characters and a different art style. True Tears follows a high schooler named Shinichiro Nakagami with a high artistic ability. He lives with his mother, father, and fellow high school student Hiroma Yasa, who moved into his house after her father died. Shinichiro has known Hiroma for years, but before he had always treasured her smile. To now she acts coldly when at home, and he cannot bring up the nerve to talk with her either. Number 6. Blue Spring Ride. Blue Spring Ride, or Aoharu Ride, is adapted from a Japanese shoujo manga series written and illustrated by Iyasuke Saga, which was released in the February 2011 issue of Shueisha Basatsu Margaret and ended in February 2015. The story begins with a girl named Futaba Yoshioka, where she attempts to fit in with her female friends by acting unfeminine due to a history of her female classmates ostracizing her out of jealousy. As a result, she feels alone. One day, she meets her first love named Ko Tanaka, being a different person from she used to know. The series is an anime where sacrifice is needed to get what we want. Number 5. Kokoro Connect. Kokoro Connect is adapted from a Japanese light novel series written by Sadanatsu Anda with illustrations by Shiro Misakana. The story centers on 5 high school students facing numerous supernatural phenomena that forces them to reveal secrets that will test their bonds with each other. The series includes 11 volumes published by Enterbrain between January 2010 and September 2013. Yamabushi Academy Student Cultural Society consists of 5 readers: Himeko Inaba, Yuri Nagase, Taichi Yaigashi, Yui Kiriyama, and Yoshifumi Aoki. Even though they seem as close as possible, they mysteriously start swapping bodies with each other, where the bonds are tested. Now, they must find out not only what has happened to them, but also must understand the deepest secrets, fears, and hidden feelings between them. Number 4. My Teen Romantic Comedies Novel. My Teen Romantic Comedies Novel or Yahari Orientation Love Comedy wa Majika Toru is adapted from a Japanese light novel series written by Wataru Watari and illustrated by Ponkan 8. The series follows Hachiman Hikigaya, a pessimistic, close-minded, and realistic teen who is forced by his teacher to join the school service club and work with 2 girls with issues of their own. They offer help and advice to others while dealing with their inner conflicts. When there is a love triangle, there must also be sacrifice and pain. Number 3. Nisukoi. Nisukoi is adapted from a Japanese romantic comedy manga series written and illustrated by Naoshi Komi, which was published as a one-shot manga in Shueisha's seasonal Jump Next magazine before being released in Weekly Shonen Jump in November 2011. Nisukoi follows high school students Raku Ichijo, the son of a leader in the Yakuza faction Sui Gumi, and Chitake Kurosaki, the daughter of a boss in a rival gang known as Beehive, which then led them to pretend to be dating for the next 3 years. With the promise of the past beginning to be revealed and the relationship between Raku and Chitake starting to develop, it attracts the emotions of the audience, especially those who have read the manga to the end. Number 2. Anohana the Flower We Saw That Day. Anohana is a Japanese anime television series which premiered in spring 2011, produced by A1 Pictures, with 11 episodes in total. An anime film was released in August 2013. Novel adaptation was written by Mario Kada, serialized in Media Factory's Da Vinci magazine from March to July 2011. A manga adaptation illustrated by Mitsu Izumi began serialization in the May 2012 issue of Shueisha's Jump Squad magazine. The story of a group of children who have been separated for a long time since one of their best friends died in an accident. 10 years passed since the accident. One summer day, a friend of theirs who had died appears in a spirit form. His appearance is more mature than he had seen when she was alive. They began to gather and met after a long time. Number 1. The Rest. Sacrifice doesn't always end well, like in this anime. Erased or Boku Dagiga Inamachi is adapted from a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Kei Sanpei, which was released in Kadokawa Shoten CNES magazine from June 2012 to March 2016 and is licensed in English by Yen Press. The story follows Satoru Fujinuma, a young man living in Chiba who possesses an ability known as revival that allows him to go back to the past. The story begins when he finds out that his mother is murdered by an unknown assailant in his own home. From here on, Satoru uses his power to change the fate and destiny of the people he cares about. Well, that's all the list of the best Netorare Anime Ever Part 2. Do you have any favorite ones on the list? If you do, let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to hit the like button and share this video as much as you can to friends if you really enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time!